So there's also a sizable oil and gas discoveries and other large-scale multi-sector project developments happening in West Africa around Mauritania, Senegal, the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea-Conakry. So the 2022 edition of the Oil and Gas Conference holding in Dakar in the first 2 days of September 1st and 2nd will focus on the future of gas. Let's hear more on this as we bring on the show Sandra Jeque, who is the International Conference Director at Energy Capital and Power. Good evening to you, madam. Thanks for coming through tonight.
Evening. Thank you for having me.
Great, thank you. So tell me about the MSGBC, which that acronym stands for Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau. This summit on gas and power, what plans are you folks at ECP putting together to host this very important forum?
Right, thank you. You got the acronyms correct. It is Mauritania, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, the Gambia, Guinea-Conakry, and Mauritania. So the conference, we are less than a month away for the big opening of this prestigious conference. We are under the patronage of His Excellency, President of Senegal, Macky Sall, endorsed also by the Ministry of Petroleum and Energies, INPG, Cost Petrogas, the African Energy Chamber, and Petrosen. So the intention of this conference is not to build a stage, but it's also about writing a unified narrative for African energy futures, with the theme, as you correctly said, the future of natural gas, growth using strategic investment and policy making. Here is basically also taking advantage of His Excellency's Macky Sall, who is the current chairperson for the African Union. I couldn't agree more with His Excellency's Macky Sall's words when he says our continent cannot be a field which is the feast of others. So we will be pushing African power that develops Africa during the MSGBC Oil, Gas and Power Conference and Exhibition.
Interesting. Talk to me about the current oil and gas prospects in Senegal and in the West African region in general, where Senegal is sitting in the middle of Mauritania and the Gambia, as well as the few other countries like the Guinea-Conakry and Guinea-Bissau.
That's right. So the MSGBC basin has 9 billion barrels of oil, equivalent to 50 trillion cubic feet of gas. That's just under 1/3 of Africa's total gas prospects. With Senegal, as I'm sure you know, you've got the BP's Greater Tortue, INM, at 15 trillion cubic feet. Sangoma with 500K barrels of oil. The Yakateranga with 20 trillion cubic feet. Then for Mauritania, you've got the Birala at 13 trillion cubic feet and the Banda at 1 trillion cubic feet, leading the charge on gas to power. And for the Gambia, of course, the far hit a potential of 1.5 million barrels of oil a few months back. But in most nations, there have only been less than a dozen wells drilled, meaning reserves are essentially unknown versus the 160 plus wells made in Senegal.
Interesting. Talk to me, Sandra, a little bit more about what's on the lineup of this energy summit and why these discussions are very relevant at this time. For example, COP27 is just around the corner in Cairo, in Egypt, later in the year. So how significant is this Dakar conference summit for you and all those who are involved?
Right. Very significant. The discussions are relevant to this time because it is time for Africa to rise and also to take advantage of the enormous resources we have. We have, as a lineup on one of the sessions, we have a private session titled Ensuring a Just, Equitable Energy Transition in Africa. And this will gather ministers of the region, the MSGBC ministers, Namibia minister, Ghana minister, and the Congo minister as well. The purpose for this specific private session is to address the development gaps and to put Africa on a pathway to economic prosperity. to make as well a modern sustainable energy available to the entire continent, to also support Africa in the deployment of gas as a transition fuel and the long-term displacement of gas by renewable energy and green hydrogen for the industrial development, if financially and technically sustainable. The PACT program includes breakouts, keynotes, panel sessions on gas policy and monetization, the role of NOC, women in the energy sector, regional mega developments and integrated energy chains, security sessions, marketing and financing for African power and technology innovations, just to name a few. With that, we also have the International Energy Agency, who will give a massive presentation on the African Energy Outlook report for 2022.
Interesting, but at all this conference and the summit meetings going on, what about specific deals? I'm waiting for you to give me some figure in billions of dollars. Are you expecting specific signing?
Right, that is always what we expect to do in terms of the massive deals within the energy space. But we do expect tangible agreements to be made in the form of MOUs with specific organizations, and obviously forging more ties, between the private sector and governmental institutions.
All right, okay. We wish you all the best, and I'm sure you'll be playing more, ECP will play more role within the West African region and beyond. Thank you so much, Sandra Jeque, the Director of International Conference at Energy Capital and Power in Dakar, Senegal. Enjoy your weekend and see you next time.